I guess, fully appreciate after all these years the impact that you have so deeply on people's lives like that?
Very much so. I'm very much aware of what it means to people, and particularly from inside the character, from inside my own point of view. I understand very, very well. I don't take it lightly at all. It's something I'm very proud of. It's something I feel carries a certain amount of kind of responsibility to be aware of what this character is and what people expect of the character. I don't know how much more of Spock we're going to be doing. There's a possibility. There's always a possibility, as we say in science fiction. There are always possibilities. But I'm very aware of the nature of the relationship between Spock and the audience, particularly young people, because young people are going through a process that they recognize that Spock is going through, which is this process of trying to maintain some kind of balance, some kind of equilibrium between logical functioning and emotional reactivity to circumstances. What's proper and how can one manage to get through life, dealing with the problems and the joys, while at the same time functioning as a logical, rational person. There are things that happen to people that if you put aside logic and rationale, would prompt terrible emotional responses and terribly painful responses, and rightly so. Life is not always easy and pleasant for everybody. So how do you manage? And Spock seems to be struggling with these questions in the same way that most young people go through. I'm very well aware of that.
And that's why they identify with him so profoundly.
Yeah.
Ever since Shatner did Saturday Night Live, there has been this debate about Trekkers versus Trekkies, those who are truly interested in science fiction and who have a life, and those who need to get a life. Can you shed any light in your travels on how the ratio works out?
I don't have the slightest idea what that's all about. To me, it's an audience. I don't segment it that way. I don't think of it in terms of those who are Trekkers or Trekkies or with a life or without a life. I really don't, and I'm not sure that Bill does either. In all fairness to him, it's a joke. I mean, I think he made a joke, which I think some of us can appreciate, and perhaps some people were too sensitive to it and reacted to it badly. I don't know. I've never had a lengthy discussion about it with him, but knowing him as I do, I think he was just trying to have a good time and make a funny comment. But the audience is an audience that we all appreciate very much. Bill appreciates the audience, so do I. We understand that there are some who have become extremely committed to a Star Trek way of life, and some who see it as a mild entertainment, and some aren't interested at all. That's the way it is with show business. There's no unanimity in response to any dramatic undertaking, any entertainment undertaking. So we expect that.
Let me pick up on something you said in there about the future that you present, and that's why it's so popular. You know, as you look around the world today, do you think
the world today is extremely complex, isn't it? Extremely complex.
It seems impossible that we're going to get from here to there. You know
Yeah, and one can look at the newspapers and say, are our leaders doing any better than anybody else could in the circumstances? The eruptions that take place around the planet, the animosities, the wars, the killings, the scientific problems, the financial problems are enormous. It's an extremely complex